Hello, this is Justin Graves with Sand County Kennels. We put the video up the other day about Scout being ready to go into the field, into the home, and we've had some requests for just running through her commands just to see where her kind of final progress is as a started dog. So we're gonna just kind of run you through a typical day, what it would be like to go out and have a hunt with Scout. We're here at this park, but just to kind of show what it'd be like to unload, load, and have her under your control when you're out there hunting. So come with me, we'll show you kind of what it's like to get Scout out of the kennel. So she's excited, ready to go. And sometimes just a reminder that she doesn't get to leave on her terms. You can do one of those. And then, you know, and you don't have the wrestling match back here with her wanting to get out. Obviously she's excited. But so if I want to go to a collar, then I have that control right here. Let's go. So this is like one of the things you've seen guys just wrestling their dogs on the tailgate, trying to get their collar on the dog, and that's no fun. So Scout is used to this kind of having control of her here at the kennel. Obviously she's excited to go. So here we go. Okay. Okay, so if we were out and you wanted to just take a second to talk to your hunting buddy or whatever, you wanted Scout to sit, you saw this in the video before, but I taught her with that treat in my hand, and so now there's a connection between the hand motion and the verbal. So Scout, okay, Scout, okay, good girl, sit, hey, sit. So you see that she takes the cue from both verbal or hand, but if you just use them together, that's really helpful for her to understand. And so sit is just an upward motion with your hand is how we did things. Okay, so here's another deal where I made the mistake with my dog of being way too heavy-handed about the whole fetch thing. I was so worried that I wasn't going to have a dog that would bring birds to hand, and that just made things difficult. And so with Scout, again, I've just been letting her be a puppy. I've been teaching her these things, what things mean, but she does like to play fetch, and so we're gonna do a little bit of that, and we'll even work in. I'll make her point it before I throw it, as kind of the same as you saw in the pigeon video. It's just a good way to kind of establish that you know, you want a pointer to understand that they don't get the exciting part of the chase until they've stood still and pointed. So right now she's being all amped up, and I'll just wait till I get a nice little point out of her. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Go. Here. Good girl. Here. Scout. Here. Scout. Good girl. Come on. Here. Good girl. Good girl. So again, that's far from a polished retrieve. Okay, good girl. But I just, especially with Scout being such a sweet dog. I mean, she hasn't been the type of dog to challenge me. If anything, she's quite a bit softer. I just haven't found the need to get onto her and make her do it a certain way right now. I wanna let her continue to develop and get more and more bold, and put those polishing touches on when they're needed. So we'll play that game again for you guys. Let's go. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Let's go. Come on. Good girl. Oh, good girl. Good girl. You see she's proud of that bird she's carrying around. You want to see that in a retriever? Scout. Come on. Here. Scout. Here. Good girl. Good girl. And so a lot of times I won't rip that out of her mouth right away. I mean, look how proud she is of it. The way she's standing, she's all excited that, you know, she went and got it. And so I'll just let her enjoy that for a little bit. Okay, good girl. And yeah, So Scout is excited to retrieve, and that natural Scout, hey, good girl, Scout, here, good girl, sit, okay, sit, Scout, sit, yeah. So again, she's excited to retrieve, and that natural retrieve could turn into a natural retrieve with birds. And so I mean, you can ask, like, you read, you know, Delmar Smith's book, he talks about that. You can, Scout, sit. Says oftentimes you have a natural retrieve, and until one day they decide not to bring it back to you and you don't have a natural retrieve, and then you can look at doing something like force fetch, which I, again, is not going to do on this started dog because that's just not the way I do things. She's a started dog, and force fetch it would be something that you'd do on a finished dog, or to finish a dog. So it's pretty warm out today, and Scout is needing a drink, and that's something that you might not think about, but you're not always going to be able to carry a dog bowl in your bird vest. It's not very practical. And so a good bird dog, a good gun dog, a dog that's going to be out in the field with you, should be able to drink out of a bottle. And you'd be surprised the first time you offer a bottle to a dog how foreign that concept can be to them. But just to show you that Scout is as a veteran of the water bottle drinking. Scout, here. Want some water? Here you go. So see that? She's kind of tilt her head that way, and that just works just right. So if you don't carry water in your bird vest, you really ought to, because these dogs get thirsty out there. They're doing all the work. Okay, Scout, let's go. Come on. Good girl. Scout. Good. Whoa. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Whoop. Good. Whoa. Okay. Scout. Whoop. Good girl. So all I'm asking for is for all 4 of her feet to stop moving. Okay. Good girl. And that's where we're at with Whoa right now, which is good. Obviously she's not real keyed up, where there's nothing in this grass for her to hunt. She's not real excited about searching out here because there's nothing to search for. But that Whoa is she's going back for more water. That Whoa is gonna grow with her as she gets more amped up. You're gonna have to go back in and to finish her off once she's had experience with birds. You're gonna want to go in there and polish up that Whoa. So I've taught her what the word Whoa means. It means stop and leave all 4 of your feet planted. And really, I could try and put a lot more pressure on her and get that really steady. But at this stage, I like to use the analogy of like a YMCA basketball league. If you go in there and the ref was calling all the double dribbles and all the travels, the kids would just get frustrated and the game would never go on, and they would never enjoy and learn to love basketball. So in that first year of YMCA, the kids are just double dribbling and traveling all over the place, but they're developing a love for the game, and they start to learn what those rules are. But you don't have to be so serious about it all the time. Just let them enjoy it. That's kind of where Scout is right now. So she's going to go out this year with her new owner, and she's going to get into some birds, and she's going to make some mistakes, and she's going to learn to love the game. And once she has that love, then we'll be able to go in there and steady her up. Okay, now one other thing. So we were out here before in the snow last February, and you saw us working with Scout on a long lead with This Way. And again, here you've seen I put my palm down, put my hand down all the way down here. And the other thing about here I didn't mention before that's good to know is that dogs are very simple when it comes to body language. They're this is an aggressive posture, this is not, kind of a thing. So with here, that's why when we want the dog to come to us, we're getting into a submissive posture that makes it just easy for her to approach you. And that's just that's just good dog sense. But the thing about here is if you're out hunting, here brings the dog all the way to you, and if you try to use here for anything less than bringing the dog all the way to you, that's going to get confusing for the dog. When you're saying here and then you're not making him come all the way to hand, you just want him to get a little closer. Well, then when you really, it's time to go home and you want them into your hand so you can get a hold of their collar and snap on their leash or whatever it is that you're doing. Well, then if you're saying here and they're coming partway to you like they've been all day just because you wanted them a little closer, well, they're not going to do what you're asking for, and it's your fault because you've been using here to mean something else all day, and it's confusing for the dog. So when I say here, I intend for that dog to come all the way to my hand and touch their nose to my hand, and every time I say here, and I'm going to make sure that happens every time I say here. When it comes to just wanting a reposition in the field, if they're getting a little too far out, they're starting to get close to a fence or starting to want to go under a fence that would take them to another property that you don't maybe have permission to hunt, then that's where I use this way. And so we can see that in action here. I'll get Scout out, she'll be running around, and I'll give her the command this way, and that'll just kind of change her direction, and if she's getting a little too far one way or the other. And out here is small enough that I don't necessarily need that, but just to show you this way, just kind of give Scout the indication that I want her to change direction and come a little closer to where I'm at. So, okay Scout, let's go. Let's go. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Thank you. This way. Good girl. This way. Go. Hey, let's go this way. Good girl. Good girl, this way. Good girl. Go! This way! This way, let's go! 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 This way! Go! This way, let's go! Hey! Go! Go! This way! Go! Good girl, this way, let's go! Scout! Scout, Scout! Here! Good girl, come on! Good girl. You. Okay, so it just dawned on me, and it's just funny because now I'm making this video for you guys and just realizing that something that just came naturally to me is actually a part of, I don't know if you'd say my training system or the way that I handle the dogs, but I do a lot of whistling, and I kind of developed that whistle herding cattle. You know, I just use that to move cattle along. Let's go. And but not everybody can make that loud of a whistle just on a whim like that, so it might be a good idea to invest in a little whistle to wear around your neck. She's not whistle trained by any means. She doesn't know, nothing that I do with a whistle means anything to her. It's just a way to get her attention. And so if she's out running around, a lot of times if you're yelling a command at a dog that's not doing what you want her to do, she's associating whatever word it is you're saying with what the action that she's doing. So if she's out there and I'm wanting her to come this way, and I just start yelling this way, this way, this way, and she's not doing it, she's just learning this way must mean run around like an idiot. And so for me, the whistle is just to grab her attention, because a dog's like a little kid. I mean, you can talk to a little kid, but if they're in the middle of something and they're all excited about this or that, they're not listening to anything you're saying. And so the whistle is a good way to just kind of cut through the white noise or the static in her brain of whatever it is she's excited about at the moment. And you can get that whistle or that hey, you know, or ah, and just kind of cut through to that and get her attention. And as soon as you can kind of see that she perks up, or her ears, you know, you can just read that body language, you see that you've got her attention. And as soon as I've got her attention, then I can give her the command. And you just saw that. I'm not going to demonstrate that again, but you just saw that with this way, where I've got she's running around, she's excited, she's having fun, she's feeling free, which again, you want that in a short hair. You want her to have that drive, that adventurous spirit, and so you don't want to be shocking her all the time. You saw a little bit ago, she ran off out of reach of me, and you know, I was saying this way and she didn't listen right away. And I could have corrected her with the collar, but it didn't get to that point. It wasn't necessary. I just needed to grab her attention. And I don't really want to be heavy-handed with the collar because I don't want her to associate running around and having fun with getting shocked all the time. In that case, I didn't need to do that. I was able to call her attention really before she left the property that we were on. If you were hunting in a certain property, I mean, that would have been a perfect example of you stay on the right property, you're following the law, you have control of your dog right there. I had control of her with my voice. I didn't even need to use the collar. I was able to get her attention, and once I had her attention broken away from whatever smell it was, I think we've seen some dogs over there before. She probably was smelling some neighbor dogs. As soon as I had her attention, then I was able to give again that this way command, and that brought her in towards me. So just something that I want to make sure that you guys know that for anybody who Scout might be going home with, that's kind of the way that operates. Okay, so we've been out and we've had our fun, we've had our hunt, we've got a limit of birds, and it's time to go home. So let's take Scout home. Scout, come on. Yo, shh, shh, shh. Come on. Come on, girl. Load up. Come on, let's go. Scout, load up. Load up. Good girl. It's really funny what dogs will become accustomed to. So from the beginning, it's just one of those things where I always was on this side of the car tapping like this. And if you watch that, you could rewind and watch that again. I was on her right as she approached the car, and she just didn't like that. And I had to move over to this side. And that's just one of those little quirks where I just consistently did it that way, and she just got conditioned to, no, that's not the way I go that way. And it's just one of those silly things, but that's one of Scout's little quirks. So what I'm selling here is a started dog, so she knows what these things mean. You know, I've taught her what heel means, I've taught her what whoa means, I've taught her what here means, I've taught her what this way means, I've taught her what sit, what down means. I've taught her these words, and I have, you know, as you can see, we're out here. I haven't used the shock collar once since we started this video. There's roads on either side of us where, you know, there could be a hazard, and I'm completely confident that I've got vocal control. And it's not control, she's not a robot, but Scout and I have a partnership that we have through voice, and whoever her new owner is, he or she will have that same kind of, can build that same kind of relationship on the foundation that I've laid with Scout. And on top of that, I mean, she's just a sweetie. Just look at her. So yeah, I wish Scout and her new owner the best and their life together, and we will be around. So stay tuned to Sand County Kennels.